Luxury Productions presents Survival of the Fittest podcast, a product for the people, by the people, where dreams go further than bullets. With your hosts, Lucky XL and Monz Logan. Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, man, it's always a pleasure when one of the real ones walk in the building, man. I got my brother Smoov over here. What's good,
yes,
bro?
Sir. Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I had to stop by and show some love, show some support, for the podcast. Love y'all, man.
Oh, man, we love you too, bro. You partially, inspiration behind all of this stuff, man. This
For sure.
production
I
stuff,
thank
bro.
you for the credit, man. Don't mean to pat myself on the back, but yeah, y'all already had something going when I met you, but yeah, I had to bring my little flavor to it.
All the time, man. So just to get into it, man, we were speaking on gun violence.
Okay.
With everything that's been going on, being from this city, man, it's a lot. And I know that this is a subject that, that hit home for you. So
Yes, sir.
if you don't mind, man, you share a little bit of your story.
Yeah, last year, 2021 in August, I lost my son, J. Rue, to senseless gun violence. As y'all know my story, but it was just a situation. It was just unfortunate that J. Rue was in the wrong place, the wrong time. And it hurts home for me because, I was the father that was there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of fathers, absent for whatever reason, but when you there and you put in the work and the time and the effort, from day one to the end, it's hurt. I mean, it hurts just to lose someone that's real close to you, just, over nonsense. I mean, can I cuss?
Yeah.
It's over some bullshit, straight up bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's for me, now it's the first chapter still ain't done. I can't really talk much about the case, but it's moving forward, I'll say that. And for me, that chapter is still not done, so I'm still going through just a lot of grieving, even though it's been a year. Just a lot of grieving and trying to get my mind ready for when this chapter is going to end, because the next, I'm just getting my mind and spirit together, and coming to grips and accepting what has happened, you know what I'm saying, and seeing if there's a way I can learn from it.
So, and that's a beautiful thing, man. J. Rue, that was like
Yeah, you
a
knew
nephew
J.
to
Rue.
me,
You seen that brother,
Yeah.
grow up. That's why
Man.
it hurts for me when I see brothers like y'all, that knew my son, seen him grow up, and to come to like a tragic end like that. It hurts me because I know y'all know my pain. I know your
Absolutely.
pain, and we all missing them.
Yeah, he was a bright young kid.
Yeah.
A talented artist.
Right.
I mean, they got the wrong one. This was some of our future leaders.
Absolutely.
The ones that we got to pass the torch down to. It's unfortunate that another thing that hurts the most is that the brothers that killed him, some young, like I said, I can't say much, but I know they some young brothers just like him.
Right.
And we always arguing and fighting about which, don't get me wrong, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of people out here marching and fighting about what the police doing to young brothers, but we really need to address what we doing ourselves.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. I'm gonna ask you a question about that. Yeah. What do you think we can do when things like that happen to put more pressure on us as a whole, as a people, to get better and try not to have these things happen again?
Well, things are so far gone in my eyes. I ain't gonna say there ain't no hope, but things are at a point where there's no consequences. People are not being held accountable for their actions. And so us as a people, we ain't holding ourselves accountable, and the justice system ain't really holding us accountable. Because when a felon, nothing against felons, but it's just that the law says certain people, abide by the law and have a gun. You know what I'm saying? And when you got so many people that's not abiding by the law and have a gun, and then they get caught with it, then they go to the justice system and give them a slap on the wrist, and then they right back out on the street. And it's really no that for a person who's in that mentality, they just gonna continue the cycle. They gonna keep getting caught. Ain't nothing happening. I'm gonna just get out again and go rob somebody else. Um, and so there's really no consequences. So when I say that, it's just like maybe if there was some more stiffer consequences, because they obviously not getting no rehabilitation in the system because they keep coming out and going back in. They It's just that if there was some stiffer consequences for people, and that maybe that would make them think twice before they go out and do something stupid. And not to get too far off, but in my job, I can't say much about my job, but I had a situation where some brothers tried to carjack somebody, and she actually had a firearm, shot back, and hit one of the brothers, not killed him. But when I went through the report of the young individuals that had done this, dude was like 18 and had been carjacked. He had been arrested every month for a straight year for either carjacking or being in a
So
stolen
he was in
car.
the system already.
Right. So it's just like, at what point are we gonna make somebody pay the consequence for what they doing?
So let me ask you this. You said this brother's 18 years old, and he's been in the system. You being, in the educational field and also being a father, what do you think plays a major role in the decision that some of these youngsters make to go down that path?
They some of them don't have the structure at home. And like I said, as an educator, as a teacher, you have parent teacher conferences. You see children with behavioral problems, and you reach out to the parent, and the parent not really supportive because they got that little one at home all the time, so they already know what it is.
Right.
And so you try to reach out. I mean, you can only do so much, but people gotta want to change, or they gotta want to take care of their kids. But when they go out and make decisions like that, it's just I could just say it's just a lack of structure at home. And then I would say 1/3 of the problem too is them phones and that social media.
Mm.
It's a tool, and I think it should just be a lot of these kids, man, they see too much too early, and they feel like they probably got to go out. I mean, I think about that. So I'll be like, what would make a dude want to go out and carjack somebody just and get caught, and then be like, hey, let's go do it again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get caught. Hey, let me go do it again.
It was kind of like a fad up here when they was doing all of the
Yeah.
kids, right? They was stealing
Yeah.
the kids and
Mhm.
doing all kind of crazy burnouts on the expressway. And
But it's social media, man. I mean, it's social media, and who's to say we wouldn't have been the same way if we would have grew up with social media?
I mean, it's
And we had a
it's
little
some
bit
of
of
that there.
it's off the chain now.
Yeah. Nah, I mean it definitely is. Everybody's, fighting to be noticed.
Notice that's
Right.
that's what and that's when I say social media, that's what I mean. It's
Right.
just like a status. You
Right.
want to be known, you want to have your likes or whatever it is they want. Because even when I was working with at-risk youth, I would go to court with them, and first thing the prosecutor will pull out, is that Facebook account
Right.
of them in they mama house showing guns, smoking weed, and the first thing they go to is what social media account you got, and they pulling all of that.
do you think social media makes you tougher when you around there posting everything on social media, and when you hit send, some of the comments that you might make, the threats that people do on social media, do they feel behind the social media, behind the keyboard, that they tougher?
It makes them feel tougher. I mean, but the bottom line is you got to back up that talk that you talk.
Even going with that, because again, that's a cry for attention. Do you think that may stem from, the lack of seeing that, in the home or in the community? Because like, when we grew up, we still had, we had Little League, we had,
Yeah.
the Candy Lady, we had a community that kind of if your parents worked crazy hours or whatever, it was always somebody that showed that they cared about you.
So yes.
You
So
know.
cause I gotta go shortly. I mentioned 1/3 of something was the problem of it. The other 2/3 problem with the shorties is parents, man. And parent and I gotta say everybody's not perfect. You know what I'm saying? And some people not built to have kids. And um it's just that the parents aren't taking the responsibility when these shorties are shorties and growing them up. They not being held accountable, and they should be held accountable. And that's part of the problem is yes, the upbringing. Showing them too much. They smoking blunts, whatever the situation. I don't even want to. The
Some of the
situation
parents are
is,
so young.
yeah, they having they younger, you got grandparents in their 30s, which I'm not even gonna say something wrong with that. It's just that it really what it comes down to is being responsible for your children. If you gonna have children and you 17 or 18, I'm not saying that's cool, but it's just that be responsible. That should wake you up and grow you up to want to feed your and feed your kid something good emotionally, physically, whatever.
But what
Feed them what's right.
but what if they didn't see that?
Yeah, if it's just that cycle, man, that
You know?
continuous cycle. It's understanding and knowing that J. Rule's physical matter, his body is only everything is gonna die, but that mental state, that higher vibration is always gonna live on. So looking forward to when my flesh perishes, my spirit, I just pray that my spirit and my mind is gonna be reunited again with him, and with my children. And so that's a little piece that says, it's bad, but just look to your eternity. Just know that you'll have an eternity to spend with your child's spirit. That's one thing that I look forward to. And then just knowing that death is a part of life. It's just unfortunate that someone chose to take his life, but healing, thinking about those things, meditating, um, it in a way has just it- I've always been close with my creator, but it's just gotten me more solid a little bit. I have my ups and downs, but just understanding my creator, my spirit, and not even gonna say my purpose, because I really don't think people just have a true purpose. Really, your purpose is to just be here and learn and experience life. If you a parent and you don't want this to happen to your child, I mean, all I could say is I did everything I could do as a parent, but it still happened. So all you can do is just continue to be there for your child. The famous 4 words, LOVE, love. You gotta truly love yourself and your child. And it ain't never too late to make a change. If you ain't been that parent, be that parent now. If you ain't seen your child in 10, 15 years, reach out. Uh, and and just be there. That's all I can say, man. Is just be there.
Check this out, man. We back, and I mean, I was touched in so many ways, emotionally, mentally. Shout out to our brother Eric, man. He lost his son. Again, that's why we have to speak out vehemently when it comes to gun violence. Shout out to Maintain, another brother and a member of BPM, Black Pirate Militia, was a 90s phenomenal rap group from the south side of Chicago that was killing the game out this way, man. So there's nothing else more we can say to that. So I want y'all to go back. I want y'all to replay everything that the brother Eric said. I want y'all to take to heart. If you got to bring your pens and your pencils out to jot down some things as a parent, as a young man in the streets who don't want to be on the other end of that bullet, educators, reach out to us, and we will reach out to him if y'all want any more advice on how to deal with fathers, forgotten fathers, or present fathers who dealing with the tragedy of losing a child in these streets, children in these streets. Moms, what you got to say, man?
Man, just live in love, man. Always choose love. Life is precious. every decision that you make, it doesn't just affect you, it affects those who love you. So when you remember that, think about that, when you pass and that brother there, he gives you a look that you don't know how to read. It looks negative, you know. Give that brother some love. Tell that brother, hey, how you doing, brother? De-escalate that the best way you possibly can, because we all we have right now. I'm a father. I'm a 21-year-old. And these brothers, they're his age that's dropping every day. The future leaders, and we didn't do the best job that we possibly could have to prevent this. So right now, I want all of us as brothers, young and old, don't be afraid to speak to these shorties when you see them out here. Just say, what's up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let them know, man, it's all right. I see you. I got you. Give them that because they may never have experienced that, from another black male. Give them that, show that, and be better examples the best way we can. Nobody's perfect, but we can't talk about the shorties if we out here doing the same dumb shit that they doing. So man, all the foolery and then with the social media, you showing guns and doing all of that stuff, man. If you a law-abiding citizen that go to work and pay taxes, show people that, show the world that.
And we want to tell y'all, black men, we are not your enemy. Black man, I am not your enemy. Black man, we are not your enemy.
We're your brothers.
Luxury Productions.